The mainstream media hides a lot of things that you and I both deserve to know. Welcome back to another video. The longer you watch, the more disturbed you will be left feeling. You will be left questioning everything the mainstream has ever shown you.
Talk about this scary video of Selena Gomez at the 2022 SAG Awards and how people are saying it's very disturbing. Right now there's a clip of Selena Gomez at the red carpet doing an interview that is going viral, but not for like good reasons. It's more like disturbing reasons. Because as Selena Gomez was walking in the red carpet and going for an interview, she was walking, she slipped. People think, oh, it's just a normal slip, but like if you slow down the video and watch her ankle closely, you can tell that something is wrong, like a glitch in the system. Cause like, what the heck is that? And you would think like it will hurt her or like she will scream, but like no, she got up nonchalantly, like nothing happened. She just got up, nothing happened, and just walked away. Does she realize how bad her ankle twisted? I feel like most people would like start limping and all, but like bro, not her, like not her. And clips like this make the conspiracy theory of her being a clone more real. For the people that don't know and live under a rock, people are talking about the conspiracy theory of Selena Gomez being a clone, saying that she died years ago and the Selena Gomez that we know right now is not actually her. I know the conspiracy theories are gonna have a field with this video because like, what the hell? But what do you guys think, Chad? Do you guys think she's a clone? Or do you guys think she just had a rush of adrenaline? You know when you get hurt, like you get a rush of adrenaline and she just didn't feel the pain in the moment? And if it's not that, it could just be a camera angle, you know what I'm saying? Or a glitch in the system. Let me know in the comments below though. You guys think she's a clone though? Let me know. And
Recently, Selena Gomez has been a hot topic. Everyone's talking about her. Everyone's saying that she's a clone. Some are saying she's not a clone. What do you guys think? Because that does raise some questions.
Ask someone in your dream what the time is. There's this really creepy theory that if you ask someone in your dream what the time is, everything glitches and you might never wake up. But of course, this is just a theory, so let me know what you guys think. People say that the person in your dream may glitch, they may start stuttering, start speaking another language, freeze, or get really aggressive. But the creepiest part is that they may say something super weird, something impossible, like an impossible number, for example, 789, you already know. It may even be symbols instead of numbers. Only people who have really good control of their dreams are able to do this. I personally can't, but if you do, you should try this. Or don't try it, but I'm very curious. Apparently, your dream characters don't like when you realize that you're dreaming. They want you to be completely unaware of everything. And if you do say something, most people say that they tell you you shouldn't have asked that. But of course, this is just another dream theory. I want to know what you guys think.
Hold up. Isn't this the fucking governor of New York? He just got elected.
Mayor, but yeah.
Don't tell me. Bro! That's his son. That's Epstein's son?
This body donation facility was caught doing experiments like Victor Frankenstein.
Really, like using
Mike, I'm gonna get into it. It's so weird. So this happened in 2014 in Phoenix, and there's this facility that pretty much is for donating dead bodies for like medical research or science. There's this guy named Stephen Gore. I'm pretty sure he runs this facility out there in Phoenix. At the time, there was this woman who wanted to donate her son's body after he passed. So she goes to this facility. It might have been a couple weeks or so after. I think she wanted to see her son's body again, or something happened where she was like, can I see him one more time? Whatever. They had a weird reaction to her wanting to see her son. She calls police. So police eventually go over there and they investigate. Brother, you're not going to believe this. They walk in, they find blood everywhere, buckets or bins. Like it's a bucket full of human heads. Really? It's like they said they found a cooler that had male genitalias in there.
Hell?
So they had a bunch of in a ice chest.
Yeah.
They were stitching people's bodies together for like fun or something.
Really?
And, like Frankenstein. Like they were taking, allegedly, that they saw a kid's head on a grown woman's body.
What the hell?
And they were doing weird things like that.
Yo.
And they found out that these people were not only just basically running a chop shop, they were selling all these parts.
Yeah.
And then people didn't know who the fuck was buying it. So let's ask the question, Mike.
Who is buying all this
now
stuff?
We're going to go back into what we was talking about. And I don't know if it was all of them, but specifically this person, Stephen Gore, they ended up getting released. So basically he spent, I guess, 12 months in prison, so almost a year, and then he had to do 4 years after of house arrest.
Yo. a missing kid whose picture showed his final moments. Basically, back in 1991 in San Bernardino, there was this 12-year-old kid named Jared Negretti. He was part of the Boy Scouts, and he was set out to do an overnight, I think it's called backpacking. But just keep in mind that Jared, he's not experienced in hiking or backpacking. It's basically his first time doing this. But he was excited to do it because it's another milestone for him to accomplish. So the day comes, and it's him with 5 other Boy Scouts and the adult troop leader. And the hike started early in the morning. Everything was normal. Everything was just as planned. And it wasn't until around 6 p.m. where Jared, he kind of started feeling the effects of hiking for that long. So he started falling, way behind the group. But the troop leader and the Boy Scouts, they noticed that he was falling behind, but they kind of just treated it as like he'll be fine. We gotta stick to schedule. We'll just keep going. So it got to a point where they just kept going, and then
They left him behind.
he couldn't see them no more.
Why the f would they do that, bro?
It could be because of the different times, but at the same time, like come on, bro.
He's a 12-year-old by himself in the woods.
At that point, Jared kind of already knew his limits. He was like, you know what? I'm getting tired. I'm gonna just hike back down. There's no point in me trying to keep up with them. They're already way past me. And the only reason why we know he hiked back was because there was 3 hikers that saw him on the way down, but they told him just stay on the track. Do not go a different route because you could end up falling into a spot where nobody could find you. So just please stay on the track. And the way this track is kind of like a zigzag, but instead of him doing going the zigzag route, he just
went straight down.
Straight down. The hikers that saw Jared caught up to the Boy Scouts and the troop leader, and they told them, "Hey, we just saw one of your Boy Scouts. He was hiking down." And then the adult troop leader, he was like, "He'll be fine. Whenever we get back down there is when we'll try to find him, right?"
Bro, what the?
They don't find him. They call the cops, and around midnight, the search starts. Day 3, they found some clues that belonged to Jared. They found wrappers of beef jerky, wrappers of candy. They found a footprint of a hiking shoe that he was wearing. Not too far from that, they find the camera. And in the camera, they see that it has 12 photos. They developed these 12 pictures, and 11 of those pictures are pictures of the scenery of him hiking. And the last picture, it's like a selfie type of picture, but it's of him, right?
Okay.
And some people theorize that maybe something in the background, maybe that belongs
Those
to
are eyes or something?
eyes of an animal or something. But that was the final picture of Jared that they found. And then after the final day of the search, that's when they just call it off because they just can't find his body anywhere. They searched everywhere around the area where they found the camera. There was no signs of him. That's when people theorized.
Erica Kirk's lived 10 million lives, so it's hard to just trust whatever she's saying. But something that's really interesting is this. In the background, you can see Charlie Kirk's wedding photo with Erica in the top left. Then it was replaced with the Talmud. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Erica Kirk said she wasn't in her room this entire time, but yet it was replaced. So Candace Owens says that she believes that Charlie is the one who removed the wedding photo, which could be true, but I'm like, why would Erica put a Talmud in there? The really odd thing about this is that they're saying that Charlie woke up in the middle of the night because he wanted to get a snack. Because he woke up, his daughter woke up. But a lot of people are saying they probably just got in a fight, which resulted in their daughter waking up. So then Erica says to Charlie, hey, why don't you go sleep in our daughter's room so you can get a really good sleep? That was the night before his assassination. But a couple days before that, they had a priest come in to pray for their marriage. It wasn't a friend, it was a priest. But there's just so many things of this story that just doesn't make sense. My theory is that they were having marriage issues. They were going to get divorced. Charlie is Erica's second husband. She probably doesn't want 2 divorces because from what it seems like, she likes titles. Exhibit A. And this sounds terrible, but I feel like she just didn't really like Charlie. I saw this one interview maybe a year ago where Charlie is saying that women shouldn't work. Women just need to be at home with the kids, X, Y, and Z. Erica tries to kind of interrupt him saying, well, women can work in a sense. And then he's like, no, no, no. Her face kind of drops a little bit. And I am not on her side. I'm just here just saying what I've seen. But I just feel like she didn't even really like Charlie. This whole thing is just really weird, especially the photo not being there. And then, I don't know, it's weird. What do you guys think?
Jeffrey Epstein has leaked email of people going out and doing hunts.
What?
Hunting hunts for pleasure, all hunting them like game.
The heck?
There was actually a woman that's leaking the information of what she said was a Rothschild's hunting trip, right? And specifically certain types of people too, which makes it even more disturbing. This is too Epstein. Going to mean Lana's party now to hunt. Why would you be going to a party to hunt? Snipe hunt is over. Moon crick in a field bag. And then the bottom is so messed up. Look, guess what? Their words.
No.
Yeah. That's what they're saying in the email. There's speculation they would take a whole bunch of throw them into like a forest on a deserted area enclosed where they can't escape, and they would hunt them like game. And what's even more crazy is, what if this was the first step before consumption?
It makes sense.
There's no exact proof yet where these locations were.
Okay.
And I don't think necessarily was the island.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thrilling hunt from Ariane de Rothschild. Amazing old male. Amazing hunt.
What the?
She's talking about who she got.
The Supreme Leader of Iran is dead, but so are at least 57 schoolgirls after an Israeli attack. I don't think we should be celebrating this war right now as if it was quick and successful. In fact, it was neither. This war could still very well escalate if Iran decides to use its hypersonic missiles, especially its Fatah-1, which travels at around Mach 15, which means that it is essentially impossible to intercept. If the US sustains any casualties on its bases or aircraft carriers, let alone if an aircraft carrier sank, then Israel would immediately respond with even more force. At this point, the Iranian regime is fighting for its own survival, and if they're willing to kill tens of thousands of their own people, I'm pretty sure they're willing to give the United States everything that they've got.
Iran has destroyed an American Navy base in Bahrain, and it is still burning right now. Iranian drones have overwhelmed American bases in the region, and this is a radar that's worth $1 billion being blown up. Many residential buildings housing American soldiers in Bahrain are also being blown up by drones. What you're seeing is a direct strike of a ballistic missile on another Navy base in the region. This is yet again another explosion on an American base from an Iranian drone. And here is another explosion from an American munitions depot in Bahrain. Early detection radar systems such as this one right here are being blown up by ballistic missiles. This is a before and after of a radar base in Qatar. And here's a naval base, the second one in Bahrain, that is still burning into the night. It's really unclear how these Iranian drones and missiles are able to get through the American air defenses, as things are just catching fire. American air defenses are working even though it's costing millions of dollars. Comment your thoughts and follow me right here for the newest update.
The United States is going to be running Venezuela now that Maduro is captured and gone. I kid you not. In the press conference that Trump just gave moments ago, he said that the United States will be running the country because they cannot afford more bad actors to just come in and be another Maduro. And so until they can have a peaceful transition of power, it's the United States of Venezuela. I don't even know what to tell you. He said the U.S. partnership with Venezuela, partnership in quotes, I don't even know what to say, will make the people of Venezuela rich, independent, and safe. And he said that Venezuelans living in the United States will be extremely happy to hear this. They will not suffer anymore. So many questions. One, how do Venezuelans feel about this? What do you guys think? How do Americans feel about this? How is this going to practically work running another country? Are you going to be sending politicians, or are you going to be sending military generals to do the running? It's been 3 days of 2026, and we've got the United States of Venezuela.
The U.S. government just officially announced that they are going to be releasing classified files on UFOs and aliens, and NASA's response that they just made is making it even crazier. So Donald Trump just directed the Pentagon and multiple different government agencies to begin identifying and releasing classified files related to aliens, UFOs, and UAPs. This just came out right after Obama said in a podcast interview that aliens are real, and I'm sure you've already seen that clip. And here's where it gets insane, because Trump then accused Obama of revealing classified information and said that he's going to get the documents declassified once and for all. The Pentagon has already said themselves that they are officially moving forward with releasing the files. But surprisingly enough, that's not even the wildest part right now, because NASA just came out and essentially said that there is no hidden proof of extraterrestrial life. Their longest serving scientist that they have ever had actually just publicly stated that nothing has ever landed on Earth, and if you believe otherwise, you're being misled. The government is obviously about to release decades of UFO files that we've all been waiting for, but the actual space agency is already saying to not give your hopes up. I don't know if somehow that's making it a little bit more suspicious, but make sure you go ahead and add me now, because the moment that they drop these files, I'm going to be covering.
Quick pause. If you're still watching, thank you. It means you're genuinely paying attention. Well, we're here, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe because we're just getting started.
There are so many disturbing photos in the Epstein files. I couldn't even cover all of them on a video like this if I wanted to. But we need to talk about all of them, and people need to see them for themselves to understand just how depraved these individuals were/are. And they need to understand that these folks are actively getting away with their crimes against children. So this appears to be on the Lolita Express, Jeffrey Epstein's plane. You can see Jean-Luc Brunel up top left. He is dead just like Epstein. And I think that that's a victim, two victims actually in the chairs. They appear to be giving Epstein a foot massage. Then there is this image. I don't know who this person is, but this is in the files. It appears to be maybe a photo for somebody's employee badge or a driver's license picture. I just don't know. But it was subject to a protective order, meaning, like, who are these girls with this elephant? You can see down there, it's confidential, not for media use, whatever that means. There's the EFTA number. There are just so many pictures in the files, and none of them have an explanation. We don't know where these pictures came from, who these pictures are showing, what these pictures mean. And make no mistake, it was engineered to be that way by the FBI/DOJ. They don't want people digging, they don't want people researching, they don't want people knowing. Anyways, if y'all have any clues or any ideas on who these people may be, the context of these images, or just really any tips, please let me know in the comments because I'm always adding things to my file and I'm collecting all this information for a bigger purpose.
Okay guys, ship between the US and Iran is kicking off yet again, and I'm about to get on a long ass flight, so let's run through this before we don't get any more time. So the US, fun little fact for you to sleep with at night, has now gathered the most amount of air power in the Middle East since all the way back in 2003, the Iraq invasion. And Trump is saying that the world now has 10 days for Iran to either make a deal or else, quote, bad things will happen. And here's the thing, it seems that both countries are preparing for that possibility. The US has sent not one, but two aircraft carriers to the Middle East, one of which is the largest warship in the world. They've also sent a huge fleet of 50 plus fighter jets, including F-22s, F-35s, F-16s. And Iran, in response, has begun repairing and fortifying military sites as seen by satellite imagery. And they've also carried out a number of military drills of their own, but they've carried them out with the support of Russian troops. Iran's supreme leaders also made a number of pretty serious threats, like he suggested they could sink one of America's aircraft carriers, as well as saying that US secrets will be exposed, and referred to the island of corruption, which we could only assume is Epstein's island. What do they know about that? Now, it's important to know that the two countries are still in negotiations, and hopefully they can reach some sort of deal before shit kicks off. But if it does, try to keep you guys updated.
If you're somebody that owns a cat or a dog, you may want to hear about this right now because scientists just tested 100 different pet foods, and what they just found is a little bit alarming. So these researchers in Japan just tested 48 different dog foods and 52 different cat foods for a group of toxic chemicals that are called PFAS. And if you don't know what that means, they're known as forever chemicals, and they're called that because once they get into your body, they can literally not be broken down. And this is where the entire thing gets a little bit alarming because the fish-based pet food actually had the highest contamination levels by far, and some of them exceeded the safety threshold set for human food. Multiple different studies on cats have already linked this exposure to liver disease, thyroid problems, kidney damage, and even respiratory issues. And by the way, there are currently 0 regulations on forever chemicals that are linked in pet food. None at all. And obviously that is a big deal right now because we're seeing the effects that it's having on the pets. The researchers have said that this is not an immediate crisis, but if your pets are eating fish-based food every single day, you might want to start rotating their protein source. And then they're also saying that because of this research, they actually found that meat-based foods tested significantly lower, and some of them had no detectable PFAS at all. Scientists just figured out how to fully control what you're dreaming about, and the results that they found are straight out of a movie. So these neuroscientists at Northwestern University just ran an experiment where they gave people a set of unsolvable brain testers before bed. Each puzzle actually had its own unique soundtrack that was playing in the background while the person worked on it. And basically, once these people were able to fall asleep and enter REM, which is the stage where dreaming happens, the researchers started replaying those exact soundtracks. And by the way, it just worked. They're saying that 75% of all participants actually started dreaming about the specific puzzles that the scientists chose to trigger. And that's not even the part that's going to blow your mind, because the next morning, those people actually solved 42% of the puzzles that they were dreaming about, but only 17% of the ones that they didn't. Their problem-solving ability actually more than doubled just because the scientists were able to steer the dreams towards it. These researchers are now officially saying that dreams might be one of the most powerful creative tools the human brain has, and we have been ignoring them this entire time.
This is a real ghost and you can't convince me otherwise. This was at a wedding and the groom was dancing with his mom. If you look at the crowd of people behind them, you'll see that there's somebody that doesn't exactly fit into all this. Right up here, a young woman is seen in the very back, standing up against the curtained wall, and she almost blends into it. She is so gray. Her eyes are solid black. She just looks really out of place in this whole scenario. It almost looks like her teeth are clenched as well. The reaction on her face doesn't look happy, if that makes sense. Some people believe that it could just be a loved one that passed away, watching their family enjoy this celebration, but other people believe there are more nefarious things going on here. That maybe this specter is some sort of demon. Maybe it's even attached to one of the people dancing. Whatever it is, like I said, it doesn't look too happy. What do you guys think about this? Let me know. And don't forget to like and follow for more.
No argument about it. That is a real ghost. That is a person standing back there wearing a white dress. That's absolutely scary.
They caged, violently tortured, and imprisoned their kids for 2 years. Ashley Cardona brutally tortured her 2 children with her mother, Lori Cardona, and her brother, Michael Cardona. Ashley's 8-year-old baby boy was forced to live in a homemade cage. This cage was made from stacked cribs, ratchet straps, zip ties, and external locks. The Cardona family also put a wrist device on the child's arm that was tied to a leash while he was inside the cage. Ashley's 6-year-old daughter was buckled into an infant car seat for 20 to 23 hours a day. The car seat was way too small for her, and the straps were incredibly tight. The children did not leave the house for 2 years straight, so they basically lived inside the cage and the car seat. Ashley's son was extremely malnourished. He would only sometimes get food passed to him through the holes in his cage. The wood floor, the carpet, and the cage were caked in feces and covered in urine. The Cardona family were all arrested on February 25th of 2026, and they have not been sentenced yet. These children had to endure this torture for 2 years. It just scares me to know that there are other children out there going through this kind of abuse. I just wish that we could find them and help them, and I wish there was something we could do. But what do you guys think about this case?
Did you guys watch that recent interview where an inmate claims that Carmen Salinas is worse than Epstein himself? The topic came up on this podcast Penitencia, where Beto, who's been incarcerated for the last 18 years, made some pretty shocking allegations. According to him, at just 9 years old, he was allegedly hired to befriend children and gain their trust, only to lure them away and sell them to politicians and other powerful people around the world. He claims that these children are used specifically for satanic rituals in Catemaco, Veracruz. And for those who don't know, Catemaco is basically referred to as the witchcraft capital of Mexico, a place where rituals for money, power, and fame are performed. They say black masses take place here, and the people attending are very wealthy and influential. And over the years, different celebrities have allegedly been rumored to come here to harvest adrenochrome. But anyways, during the interview, he calls out Carmen Salinas by her name, saying she was the one buying these kids. And if you're Latino, then you definitely know who he's talking about. She was an actress, comedian, producer, and even a politician later in her life. She appeared in over 100 films, novelas, and theater productions, so yeah, she's very well known. She did pass away in 2021 after complications from a stroke, so there's no way for her to defend herself. You know what? At this point, I believe that anything could be a possibility. Rituals and secret societies have existed for hundreds of years. I truly believe that all of them are in on it. Have you guys heard about this? Did you guys watch that crazy ass podcast? Let me know in the comments.
What's going on with Jim Carrey right now is actually kind of disturbing. Alright guys, well a lot of people are claiming that Jim Carrey is not the actual Jim Carrey, it's a clone. The reason a lot of people are saying this right now is because recently Jim Carrey went to an award show. Yeah, he won, and people are saying that like, bro, he doesn't look like Jim Carrey in this award show. Which I gotta say, they don't. Like, what the heck?
Merci beaucoup. C'est très gentil. En tant qu'acteur.
That's the reason people are saying that he's a clone. But like, if you ask me, I don't think it's a clone. It's most likely plastic surgery. Because like, bro, that's very common that celebrities get plastic surgery, but like, that's just my opinion. But here's where the conspiracy theory gets weird. Not only does he look different, but like, also he acts very, very different in this award show. Because Jim Carrey doesn't usually act like he did in this award show. Because Jim Carrey usually makes fun of award shows and like makes fun of like every celebrity and like even the Illuminati.
Kidnapping children is not what great nations do.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
So like seeing him in an award show, smiling, being happy, grateful of winning the award show is not really him. Because we all know Jim Carrey will like make fun of it, you know what I'm saying? But does that mean he's a clone or did he just change? I guess people will never know, but like you guys let me know, is he a clone or not? Let me know in the comments below and yeah, peace out.
United States just spent $30 billion replacing textbooks with laptops and tablets, and it has now officially created the first generation in history that is less intelligent than their parents. This is obviously insane right now, but a neurologist just testified in front of the US Senate and said that Gen Z is the first generation in history to score lower on tests than the generation before them. And this is actually directly tied to the $30 billion that was spent shoving laptops and tablets into every single classroom in America. This is where it gets crazy, by the way, because the whole thing started on purpose back in 2002 whenever Maine became the first state to hand out laptops to students. The idea was simple back then, by the way, because it's give kids unlimited access to information and they'll learn more. But what actually happened is obviously the exact opposite. A 2021 survey actually found that more than half of teachers now have students on screens for 1 to 4 hours a day, and then a quarter actually said 5 or more. The neuroscientist literally told the Senate that we screwed up an entire generation. Yeah. And his message to Gen Z was this, I'm literally gonna quote it, "None of this was your fault and you should be mad about it." Okay. Should schools go back to textbook?
So it's one thing that McDonald's logo on many of them is billions and billions served, right? Billions of people, not so much, it's more billions of servings. So they did kind of word it weirdly. But where they weirded it wordly is when they say our secret ingredient is our people. They are never beating the allegations. They leave it up to the observer, the interpreter. Our people? What do you mean your secret ingredient is people? Oh, you mean your workers? Okay, that makes sense, but strangely worded. I'm just saying, apart from that, you won't see me eating here in a million years. Well, if you've ever eaten McDonald's before, like I have, it may be important to detox, not to mention the heavy metals we're getting exposed to every day and chemicals. Right now, Chalk is giving away free $100 bags of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia, the chocolate powder, which is super detoxing and delicious, and it's really good for your gut microbiome. If you combine that with the hot water purified shilajit, you're getting some of the most potent superfoods in the natural world. Comment free below and check your DMs for detail.
That's a very bad way to word what they were trying to say, McDonald's. Is that a hidden message? What are you trying to say? Are we eating human?
Do you believe in mermaids? And I'm not talking about the Disney ones, I'm talking about the real mermaids that sailors were afraid of. There's this crazy urban legend about Cantinflas. If you're Hispanic, you already know who Cantinflas is, but this urban legend is very old, very scary, and it has to do with him and mermaids. The legend is simple. It said Cantinflas, as he was young, he was obsessed with mermaids. He wanted to really meet one. The legend says that he tried everything, even building his home in Acapulco, which is right by the beach. And if you've seen his home, it's like a statue of him. It's very creepy. It's a statue of him, and like there's like this pool area where the water can come into. And the rumors are that supposedly he hosted parties, and in the parties there was mermaids. Rumors claim that when he had visitors, obviously there wasn't any mermaids, but people who have been to his home claim that there was like footprints that were very wet, not human, and that supposedly you could hear giggling, like women's giggle, coming from the water. I'm not saying this is true, and there's more to this story, feel free to look it up, but if this is true, what makes you believe in mermaids? Do you think he really saw something, or was it all fake?
Oh, we are so cooked. In a recent meeting, the Pope had to ask priests to stop using ChatGPT when writing sermons. I told you. This is the leader of 1.3 billion Catholics around the world. And for him to announce it like this makes you wonder, how widespread is this issue? In a world's first, he urged priests to, quote, resist the temptation of using artificial intelligence when writing sermons because AI will never be able to share faith. And that's kind of crazy because if you think about it, if politicians are using AI to write speeches, governments are using AI to write laws, therapists are using it to respond to patients, and even now priests to share the word of God, in 5 years' time, how much of the world's thought will even be human anymore?
You guys remember Cars for Kids? Well, it turns out the world's most annoying jingle is also an Israeli op. Allegedly.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
The children, the future. What could be a better cause than that? Well, here it is. You thought you were helping kids. You were funding Zionism. So it's a charity that works to help children, not universally, but only one specific group of children. Found this on their website. Cars for Kids supports educational and social programs for disadvantaged Jewish youth who are interested in living in Israel. Our goal is to enable all Jewish young men and women to live in Israel, grow through higher education, and benefit from a supportive social network in Israel. $500 million in the past few years for turbocharging Zionism. That's right. At the end of the day, the primary purpose of this Cars for Kids money is being used to promote emigration to Israel, allegedly.
This is not a lens flare and you can't convince me otherwise. It's sitting right there in that chair. The original poster took a few photos while her and her family were out camping, and in several of the photos there is an image of something sitting in this chair. It looks like a light being, and it even looks like their legs are crossed. And this isn't the only photo that it was captured in, which convinces me that it's not just a lens flare, because not only was it captured in this particular photo, but it was captured in the same chair in this photo. Right here, it doesn't even have like a glow to it, it's more of a blob. And then in the next photo, it's in the same exact chair again. I just think it's too much of a coincidence, because here it is again in the same exact chair. This time it's not a full apparition, it's just more of like an orb-like thing. But in 3 separate photos and 3 separate angles, there is an anomaly sitting in this chair. What do you guys think? You think it's a coincidence? You think it's some sort of lens flare that's captured in 3 different photos at different angles? Or do you think this is a ghost joining the family in some family fun time? Let me know your thoughts on this one.
It's Kool-Aid time, baby! You look thirsty! Go ahead, drink me! It's not fruit, it's just powder! As much sugar as you want, and artificial color. You don't care though, right? We're preserved with BHT, so we stay the same, no matter how long we sit. What do you think that does to your body? Well, you know I'm colored with red 40, blue 1, and more fake junk. Bright, perfect, unnatural, just the way I was made to be. We're made with artificial flavor, because there's nothing real to begin with, so no need to start caring now. You don't just drink Kool-Aid, we break through your house and take our place inside of you. We are every flavor, every color, every craving, and once we're in, you never stop, so go ahead, grab a cup.
Never say your name 3 times in the dark. Apparently, it's a rule. They say that something else could be listening. There's this old paranormal belief that names hold energy. That's why when someone calls your name, obviously your brain reacts instantly. But when you say your name in the dark, completely by yourself, you're basically calling yourself and something else might answer. People who have tried this say the first time feels dumb. The second time feels like, okay, it's like whatevers. But the third time, they hear breathing. But honestly, guys, if I were to call my name 3 times in the dark, like the first time, I'd be completely terrified. Some people say that they've seen a shadow figure standing by themselves right in front of them. Others say that they feel something behind them even if they're completely alone. The theory is that in the dark, the version of yourself doesn't just exist in the mirror. It's in the space around you, so when you say your name 3 times in the dark, you're inviting the version of yourself that exists in the mirror. So tonight, if you can't sleep or if you have nothing else to do and you want to try this, let me know in the comments what happens.
Okay guys, it looks like it may be happening. Multiple explosions are coming out of Venezuela, and US officials have told the BBC that Trump has ordered strikes on sites inside Venezuela, including military facilities. Here's what we know so far. So videos show military helicopters flying over Caracas, Venezuela's capital, and others show huge strikes being carried out on specific locations. Now, the Venezuelan president, Maduro, he's declared a national emergency and blamed the US for these strikes, saying that they're trying to take the country's oil and minerals. He's also ordered all national defense plans to be implemented and all social and political forces in the country to activate mobilization plans. Now, there's still no official word from the Trump administration on these strikes, so I'll have to make an update as we know more.
Think about why they use pizza. Why they use pizza in code word. Did you know how many went missing at Chuck E. Cheese? There's so many that would be and taken at Chuck E. Cheese because that's a hot spot for predators to come and take them.
No way.
And what does Chuck E. Cheese have in common?
Yeah.
Pizza. They sell pizza.
And that was like the main theory, remember? I think Shane Dawson.
There's like a whole conspiracy with like the pizza being different sizes. But just the concept of it. Oh, how are you getting these? You get it at the place that serves pizza.
Yeah. Nah, that's crazy.
Because if you look into it, that's why then they give you a stamp with a light. You know what that's for?
No. What? Man.
So they had to include that later on in our childhood because so many people and so many were getting stamped. So your number has to match with the people you're leaving with. Because if they don't match, then it's suspicious.
That's so mod. Do they even do that nowadays?
I think they do it now. Yeah. This is a hot spot for to play.
That
and predators would go there and then take.
Oh my